Hello and welcome back for more of the 1942 scenario from the other side of the hill by Knack Wargames. A couple of quick things to cover before we kick off here with the winter of 1943. As mentioned in the last video, I adjusted all my available generals. I can only have 30 in play. I've got 30 in play. Essentially, I got rid of everybody with a 2 seniority and kept only 11 of the ones with a 3 seniority. And I've got them organized into these piles to make it a little bit easier. The other thing that I forgot to do, I was looking for it and I just didn't spot it, but I did it, was I reconstituted these decks. From the cards that are available. So the cards that had been kind of played but came in the next year, and then the cards that came in 1943. So all that's left here is the cards that will be added to these in 1944. So that all got done in between. So this is a winter turn. So we'll see. It's possible that this will go maybe quicker, or maybe not actually. I don't think it's any really much different. But so we're going on to the administrative phase this winter. So where? Interesting. Oh, there it is. All right. So bombing of Germany, still not having any effect, thank God. German replacements. So I have 3 replacements for each of these. So I'm going to put 2 there and 1 here. That's my that's my Luftwaffe replacements, and then I'm going to put 3 strategic replacements. Now, in terms of the Wehrmacht, I am going to. So I'm actually wondering how long I should keep up the fight in Africa. I've been wondering that in the intervening time, but for now, I'm gonna make that a gray army so that I can take advantage of Rommel down here. And then I'm going to add a white army here and I'm going to make this into a black army here. The thinking here is that we're fighting. Oh, wait, this is river. Sorry, I was thinking that we were fighting in plains, but we're not. So I think I'll just make that a white army there. Still not in danger of these landings. Now, one question that has entered my mind that I'm not certain about is once the Allies are done here in Africa, I guess they're going to go after southern Italy via Malta. I'm going to have to look at that. I guess this is like an amphibious assault. So I'm gonna have to go look at the rules for that because I'm not quite clear about that. I was just trying to figure out how the Allies ended up in southern Italy, and what I just figured out, and I apologize for this, but this marker doesn't actually leave the board. So it was placed here when this attack happened, but then in the new year, it goes here. So the Allies can still make a landing this year. And so there's a very good chance that they will, at some point this year, try to land in southern Italy. So what that means is that I may consider next turn. I may even consider this turn falling back into southern Italy. The thing is that I'm very nervous that this port is not going to be open to me, and so I'm think that I might need to pull out of Libya and reorganize my defenses in southern Italy. We will see how that goes. Okay. So with that, we have placed all of our German replacements. There are no satellite replacements left to be. Oh, sorry, that Italian unit is still sitting there. And it's going to remain sitting there. So now we go to the production table. So this production table, I know I have 1 extra here because I had used forced labor last turn. So I'm going to go look at the various military and political directives and all that and figure out what I'm going to need here. Then I can look at how to organize this table. Okay, once again, I'm mostly trying to conserve. So I am going to be doing this. One thing I realized, by the way, last turn is that V weapons doesn't really do much for me in the solo game. It sort of increases fanaticism, but my fanaticism is already pegged and really only matters in the multiplayer game because you're trying to. One of the various factions, I think, sort of gets raises with fanaticism. So that was kind of a waste of time last time. So I think, let's see, I've got 3, 10, 13. So I can move one more. So I think we will move strategic warfare up one. We'll spend one more on that. So that is that. So now we are going to do our production directive. And the production directive is going to be new units. So I'm going to play this production directive, and I'm going to add 2 regular armies and 3 reduced armies to the force pool. So I've got a few. I got to find a way to get them on the board. But at least I've got some additional armies now available to me in the force pool. So that's my production directive. That's why I had 2 there. Military directive, I'm not going to choose a military directive again. The only place where I possibly could is here, but I think I'm going to pull out of there because I need to get out of there while I can. And while it's not isolated, so I'm going to get myself out of there this turn. And then in terms of political directives, we're going to got some other possible things to do, but for this turn anyway, we're going to just decrease the unrest again. We're going to bribe generals and decrease the unrest. So spend that 1 on that. And then that was my political directive, and then the military directive. I'm not doing anything. Did those in the wrong order. Sorry. So now we go on to strategic warfare. So let's find out how much the allies are rolling. So it's 1943 now. So they are rolling 2 dice. They are rolling 2, and I am rolling 3. But one of those dice is a gray die because of my technology. So we got 2 hits each. So I think that is simply no effect. Axis hits equals Western hits, no effect. So strategic warfare is kind of a stalemate in the winter of 1943. Now for movement. Okay, so these are all subject now, but I'm going to leave the Eastern Front the way it is. The main movement I'm going to do this turn is I'm going to pull that army back to there, and I think I'll leave that army. Let's see. No, I think I don't want to pull that out of Greece. So I'm going to pull this army back, and we're going to kind of sacrifice here Libya. Actually, let's leave 2 there because then I might be able to delay him for an extra turn, possibly. It might take 2 turns to get rid of him. Of course, I won't have many Italian units left by that when that's done, but I'm not sure what I can do about that right now. Okay. So that is that's my operational movement. I'm not doing any air movement or strategic movement. So now command. So I have, if you recall from last time, I have a few generals being questioned. So I have Rommel being questioned. I have von Weichs being questioned, and I have Kesselring being questioned. So basically I have to roll. It's less than. Let me get this right and come back. All right, so it has to be less than. And really, I should have known that because Kesselring and Rommel are both a 6. And if it was less than or equal to, then there would have been no way for them to be eliminated. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll So I'm going to roll this for Von Vikes. So he needs, Von Vikes is a 3. So if he rolls a 3 or higher, he is going to be dismissed. So Von Vikes is dismissed. Oh, I need to pull, sorry, I'm going to need to pull some of these guys back. I'll do that in a second off camera. So Von Vikes is dismissed. So I need to get a vacancy marker. That's a dissident marker, vacancy marker. I grab a vacancy marker and I put it here, which indicates that I'm going to have to put somebody new into that role coming up here in a bit. And then I will roll for Kesselring and Rommel. So the blue die will be Kesselring and the white die will be Rommel. So Erwin Rommel gets dismissed. Oh dear, that wasn't what I was looking for. Oh dear. All right. Well, I guess I'm kind of done in Africa anyway, so maybe that's not such a bad thing. Erwin Rommel is out of the game. And Kesselring returns to his regular side. So now I'm gonna make sure that I've got the generals I've got here matches the generals I get here. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. Now my general tokens matches what's going on. So I now have to, having dismissed, I have to create a new army head here in the Don and Volga region. And let's see. I can choose the general with the highest seniority factor, space. If there's a tie, you can choose which general to appoint. Alternately, you may choose a general that's activated the seniority factor equal to or higher than that of the general with the highest seniority factor. Let me choose 1 second. I gotta read this. Got it. Okay. Sorry. So it doesn't matter this turn, but I can choose activated generals. But basically, I have to choose someone from my 6 generals. So I've either got to choose Ernst Busch, Edvald von Kleist, or Erich von Manstein. It's between Busch and von Manstein. I'm unlikely to usually kind of take this because it's got such a small, it's only got like a 50% chance of happening, but it wouldn't kind of be bad necessarily when he's defending for that always to happen. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of hold von Manstein because eventually I should be able to create OB East and be able to sort of use that. So Ernst Busch goes there. And then I gotta find his counter. And his counter now goes here. So he is now the head of this army group in the Don Volga region. So we have now dealt with command. We dismissed 2 generals. Poor Erwin Rommel was lost favor and was dismissed. So now it's offensive, but I didn't choose a military objective again. So I am not doing this. So now it's the Western offensive. So I don't draw for a landing because it's winter. So I don't draw for landing during winter. So I'm just skipping that part of it. And then I'm going to put the allied pawn. Well, I'm not going to put it because I never removed it. Put the allied pawn here because that is what's disputed. And now the allies are going to get an extra role here because they also are attacking from this area, which is controlled by them. So that is going to make this situation in in Libya pretty untenable, I would think. So let's find out what the allies are rolling. So 1943 on attack, 2 air, and they're rolling 3 dice. So I think okay. So I'm going to reduce air by 1. And then I roll 1 for the second one. So I'm going to be rolling 4 dice, 4 Western dice. This could be ugly. And I've got 2 Italian dice. One moment while I look something up. Okay, so as I suspected, there's no German general involved here. Or sorry, no German army involved here. But I think the head of army group can still. There's no army group head. Sorry. So okay. Let's take a look real quick at Kesselring. I just want to make sure that he can be used if there are no German armies there. Okay, as near as I can tell, he is going to affect this, even though there's no German army there, because it doesn't say anything about that. It says only if his rule is sort of followed, and his rule here, that combat symbol. If you come over here, it says the axis is the defender in a well, that's the wrong one, but is an axis in any sector, a defender in any sector. So we will get to use Kesselring's combat ability here. So I can change the results of any one die in the axis area for the results of choice. Okay. I think I haven't been using that, actually, now that I think about it. So we're going to be rolling 2 yellow and 1 gray die. The gray die is for the rough terrain. So let's see what happens here. Woof. All right, so we've got a combat event. So let's start by resolving that combat event. That is Hitler orders counterattack. If the axis is the attacker, after resolving the current I've already seen this, but I just got to remind myself. After resolving the current combat, apply 1 reduction to 1 German army, then flip the markers of the activated head of army group and leading general to their question side. So there isn't going to be a German army here. So that's okay, but flip the markers, deactivate head of army group and leading general to their questioning side. So Kesselring is going to be questioned yet again. This poor guy. Okay. And then I move it over here because it comes in next turn. So, okay, so I've done everything related to that. So let's so now we got to resolve the rest of it. So that air marker, let's see, is air marker. Let's see. First result, subtract 1. So that goes now down to 1. Whew, boy, it is hard to keep German planes around, isn't it? So basically, they have 2 hits to 1 hit. But I do have the controlling player may change the result of any 1 die in the Axis or Allied combat roll for the result of his choice. So what I can do is I can change that to a hit. So now we've got 2 hits to 2 hits, 1 reduction or 1 retreat. If the retreat is applied, the active head of AG is questioned. So I believe, I'm trying to decide if I could retreat and save those armies, but I think the thing is then I'm defending in a plane and it's going to get ugly. So I think I'm just going to accept the reduction. To be honest with you, I think this army is a goner anyway because this port is not going to stay open, and I'll never be able to get them out, even if I were to retreat. So I might as well just lose them and hold on there and roll slightly better chance there next turn. We'll see. Okay, so that is the... And Kesselring is questioned, and so that's everything. So that's everything with that. So now we move on to the Soviet offensive. So the Soviets are going to... I didn't put combat pawns down for them last time, so let's try to go be a little bit more diligent this time. We'll place combat pawns in all of these areas, which they are attacking. Okay. So let's start up here. Now, you remember in a lot of cases I've been drawing those like snowflakes, and I've been happy about it. This is not going to be happy if that's what happens here. So on attack, we draw a strategic event. Plane factories bombed. Air naval control in the Germany box -1. Yuck. So that is that combat pawn taken care of. I'm just literally trying to remember where I put the other allied combat pawn, but I don't know. Okay, now we will do this combat pawn. 1943 is winter, so they are going to lose an army to the winter. There is no further combat here. Same result. And then finally, we're going to do an offensive here in the Caucasus. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They are going to pour through the Caucasus here. Okay. So they've got 4 dice, and I have to take a reduction before that all happens, unless I find a way to negate that. Okay, so there's the Soviet 4 dice. So I've got List is my commanding general, so let's find him and find out what he's all about. If there's at least one regular Panzer army in the combat area, cancel the additional allied die. Oh, he only matters on attack. Actually, I probably could be good if I could maybe get this guy fired. So let's see what happens. But we're defending in rough. So what I really want to go... I'm going to go find a general, and I'm going to see if I can find a general that'll cancel that special effect, because I can't really afford that combat loss. Okay, so we're going to go with Walter Model. He cancels the special effect on the combat cards, so we do not have to suffer that reduction before that happens. So we are rolling a black die and 3 white dice for the cubes and the rough terrain. So that is all of that up there. Oof. Okay, so that's not good. Okay, we've got a combat event, so let's check out this combat event. Loss of confidence. Flip the markers of the activated head of army group and leading general to their question side. Well, as I was saying, I might not mind it if List ends up getting dismissed. So let's find Modal here. Put him... Oh, just fall out of there. That's fine. And he is questioned. So both of them are being questioned. So that is the Soviets. Now I have 2 hits. They have... We're not in... so they have more hits than I. They have 1 more hit than I do. So allied hits is great. The activated unit applies 1 reduction or 1 retreat for every hit difference. Okay, and they'd be questioned. Oh no, they wouldn't be questioned. But I have to apply a reduction. So I'm going to... In the interest of continuing to roll dice there, I'm going to make that take my Panzer army off the board. So that is that. Okay. From here, it's pretty simple. Military directives, operation objective check. I don't have one. Supply check. So we're checking out to see if these guys are in supply. So basically, I have to roll a 6. You know, only on a 6 is he going to be in supply. Whoa, he's in supply. Well, that gives me the potential to actually like pull him back here because he remains in supply. But I could also just let him absorb there. And I really should just pull him back. There's no reason for me not to pull him back. And victory check. And I know that there is no victory there. So now we are moving on to spring of 1943, but we will pick that up in the next video. Hopefully you are enjoying Other Side of the Hill as much as I am. If you are, it'd be great if you could leave a like and definitely leave comments if you see stuff that I'm doing wrong. I'm still learning this game as I go. But if you're enjoying the series, if you're enjoying what we do here on the channel, it would be great if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when we produce new content, whether for this series or for another future series, which you may be interested in. And we will see you next time on Agility Snips Gaming Table.